The Edwards Syndrome Association is a 100% volunteer 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to advocacy, equal care, education, and rights of people with Edwards syndrome. The ESA strives to empower parents to advocate while working to help break barriers for those with Edwards syndrome. This podcast is for educational purposes only. For all medical advice, please speak with your medical providers. Thank you for joining us and for breaking barriers with us.
Welcome to the Breaking Barriers podcast, where we talk all things Edwards syndrome, special needs, therapy, disability, and everything in between.
So it's talking about the different therapists and everything, the therapies, like if you notice that a therapy is just not a right fit for your kid, how do you advocate for them? If you know something's not working, how do you approach it?
I mean, I feel like for us, it's been like we've kind of been at a handful of different clinics. And I mean, I'm trying to think through like if we've had one that we didn't really care for. It's like there's usually another one that is available that like you can just kind of be like, oh, this day is better for us. Like you can just kind of eventually move along. But I don't know that we've ever had one that like, okay, I lied. In school, we have had a couple that I have not loved. We have the best team last year and this year, so I'm just like soaking it in because it's been amazing. But it's tricky when you like, because obviously at school, like you get who you get. Like you can't really say like I want someone different, like a clinic where you can just be like I want someone different. If you can't do that, I'm gonna go to a different clinic, you know. So it does get tricky. But I'm trying to think outpatient. Like I don't know that we've really had any of that. Like
Oh, you're lucky.
it's not like oh, we've changed clinics though. So it's not to say we haven't had any we didn't like, because trust me, we have had some that we didn't really care for, but a schedule changed or something changed soon enough for us to not have to like be like, okay, we're done with this person. Um, it's been more school, early intervention. There was a couple where it was kind of like, is this really worth it anymore? But yeah. So I guess I'm not the best one to answer that question because we've had decent luck, I guess.
I usually with that kind of thing, we haven't had to that much, but if there's just something like I find email is really effective for me in communicating like kind of what I need that maybe isn't happening in a because it gives me an opportunity to like read it and rewrite it and make sure that I'm sounding like, hey, this is my kid and I care about her and I'm gonna like fight for her, but I'm also a nice person, like it kind of gives me that ability to like, and I had to, it wasn't so much with therapy, but with school. So this year, Brookie's teacher, who she's had for the past 2 years, her one-to-one who she had for the past 2 years, both did not come back. And so her new preschool teacher was a first year teacher with no special education experience.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, what's the plan? Like, what are we gonna do here? And I was able to like start it with like, hey, can we meet and just talk about this? And like, I mean, I'm all about new teachers, right? And this is kind of how I go. Like, I'm all about someone like learning and they have to have their first time. And what else are we going to do for Brookie? Because she needs something and more. And so she'll still be in the classroom with that teacher for like the preschool play type stuff, but the special education teacher from kindergarten, who Brookie will end up having anyway, is going to come in and push into the class and help teach the new teacher, but also do stuff with her. But I think for me, it was just that kind of always leading with like, I know you guys are going to do the right thing. And so what is that right thing going to be? And it's so far, it's easier for me to do it with like therapists and school than in the moment, like in a hospital setting, where I will advocate for her, but I have a harder time. Like, I think we talked about this on the like where I'm like, I don't like confrontation, and so it's like but I'm gonna have it if it's to have to do with my daughter, but I'm more emotional in those times and don't feel like I'm, I don't know. like maybe they're like, oh, this mom, more so than in the school and therapy settings where I have the ability to kind of think through what I'm gonna say and I'm calmer and it's not as emergent and all that. I don't know. That was a lot, but yeah.
Just say it right then and there. That's how I am. And it's harder for me with the school because school-based therapy is different than outpatient
Mm-hmm.
therapy. They focus on different things. Uh, Me, the hard part about school therapy is I'm not seeing what they're doing.
Mm.
Right.
And I like to see what they're doing, and I've always been there. And I'm fine with most of it now, but she got a new PT last year, and I was feeling some kind of a way, like you were saying earlier about like I just had a vibe with the way she was communicating. And I made that known like a week or so ago, and then I saw her in person like a day or two after that conversation, and explained more to her as to why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, and told her everything that was going on with Emma and how that had a play in it and all that. So tomorrow is our update meeting where I update all of the therapists, and we'll just see how it goes from there.
No, I've had to fire a few.
How did you go about doing that?
Uh, I honestly just confronted her and,
Do what now?
and it is what it is. You're not doing what you're supposed to
Right?
be doing, and I'm not Gunner's not doing anything for you because you're not putting any effort into it, and we need to move on. And so we moved locations, different facility. With school, I do agree. I don't like not knowing what's going on. I would rather see a few sessions myself, just because you don't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they must be doing something okay because Gunner doesn't come home upset or anything. So I'm just kind of trusting the process, and because it's hard to let him go to school and you not know exactly what's going on. It was very
Yeah.
hard for me to let him go back to school. But we went through a couple of therapists and a couple of doctors also, and it is what it is. If you're not going to treat my kid like a,
Yeah.
you know, not a typical kid, but if you're not going to treat him as Gunner and you're going to treat him as a diagnosis, then we're going to move on and find somebody else that's going to do better for him. So
Exactly.
that's just how I feel about the situations.
No, that's good.
I can be nice about it.
I believe you.
I don't.
Well, but it's all in how you say things, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
if you literally said, "Hey, this isn't going the way that it needs to be going, so we're gonna need to move on." Like, I
Right.
don't know, that's facts.
Like we're wasting our time. I'm not driving an hour and 30 minutes for me to sit here and watch you do nothing. It's just not make any
Right.
progress.
Stuff that I can do at home easier than this. Like, yeah.
I could definitely do all of Gunner's therapy at home, but he needs different people and different
Mm-hmm.
He
aspects on
doesn't
different things, different inputs.
doesn't fight them as much as she does me.
Yeah.
Gunner does more for me than he does his other therapist. But
Yeah, I think that about Brookie too, but I think because she's having more fun with
Yeah.
me because she knows me. But I've seen with the other therapists who she has for a long time, she gets a level of admiration for them and they're having fun and then she
Mhm.
can get into it. But that it has to, it's like with regular, like I'm a social worker and therapist. So it's like you have to build a rapport with a kid
I
before
know, but sometimes
the
that takes
kid.
forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's why I
But
don't like to
once you
change for
have
people.
that, and that's like even today when we were doing it, you could tell like we were doing some exercise and stuff. She was having so much fun. And
Mm-hmm.
so she didn't feel like she was working, and
Yeah.
Right.
of course it's because I'm so fun to be
You
around.
are so fun. I also feel like too, a lot of it depends on like environment because
Oh yeah,
Mia's
definitely.
current OT, like we were in like this tiny like room, because it
Gunner
was like
does
the
not
only
do
room that we
tiny
could get,
rooms.
and she would just like fuss the whole time with her, and I'm like, okay, she doesn't like her. But then we moved to this awesome room that has like a rock climbing wall and all this like available space for swings and this and that, and like she's been loving OT the last like 3 weeks with her. So I'm like, clearly, and I told her, I'm like, we're not going back to that room. We're staying in this room. So that's like one thing that kind of annoys me about like her current therapy place. It's like they have to like sign up for rooms. So if like there's another kid at the same time and like they've been going in the same room for like every time, it's like you kind of get like shoved to somewhere else. And so that's why Mia was in that small room, because like she was like new with that therapist. But then apparently this other child like stopped coming to that time frame, and so we got like one of the better rooms. So it's another whole thing, because they do it in separate rooms there versus like an open area like how Napa does it and stuff. So that's kind of an adjustment, because I'm like, she doesn't really vibe in this room. So I'm definitely gonna have to start telling them like you need to figure something else out if they try to put her in like some of those weird rooms again. Because clearly
And
Mia
they do that.
must have
Gunner,
claustrophobia.
They do the same thing at Nemours where you go into a room, but they also have a huge wide open gym, so you could be in there
Yeah, you
too.
just be like, at least put her in there. But they don't
Yeah.
really have that. It's all like they even have like, well, they do have like some ginormous rooms, and they said that they will share, but there's like they don't ever share them. I don't know. It's weird.
that's
So like they
weird.
shove us in this little room. It was literally called the TV room. I'm like, why is my kid in the TV room? Like,
Gunner's always in the gym. He never goes into a small room because he would literally lose his crap. Gunner does not do
She
small
does.
spaces.
Her problem was if when we went out to the gym when she was younger, it was just too much action. She needed to be where it was just a focus.
Now, if there's kids in there crying and yelling and stuff, I do turn his ears down a little bit, or they'll take them off because he gets overstimulated. But now he does not ever go into a small room, or he will not participate in anything.
She's been out in the gym lately, and she likes it better now than when she was younger because she's like watching everybody but still participating.
Mm-hmm.
So she's
Yeah.
gotten past that whole. I really think it's because she sees better now,
Mm-hmm.
like through the
Well,
2 years of vision therapy.
vision plays a huge part in it, and even with the motor planning with our kids, the weather plays a huge part. Like if it's like thunderstorming outside, you're not going to get much out of Gunner. He's literally going to want to swing, and that's about it. Like
Hey, like,
it
this is cool.
it brings in the sensory seeking part because the motor planning is so hard for him when it's just overwhelming with different stuff with the CVI and everything. It's not going to work out. So does everyone play over all the therapy that you do, like outpatient? Do you overlap it with home therapy also? And how does that look for you?
Yeah.
I break it down to like 4 or 5 different things, and I focus on that until she's strong in it.
Do you
And
do it daily?
yes, unless she's like too tired for some reason or, not in the mood.
Mm-hmm.
You have to gauge it, like you're saying, but most of the time it's every day.
I
So
would say we do, I mean, not every single day, because like I said, like Mia goes to school full days, and then like 2 days a week right now she has therapy. Like Tuesdays, for instance, it's like she gets up, she goes to school, and then we have therapy until 6 p.m. So it's like we're not doing anything at
I
home
wouldn't
that
do it.
day because
I
that's
wouldn't
just
do it on
silly.
that day.
And like there's other school days and stuff where it's like Mia also gets fed by a pump now. And so her feeds take a while. So that kind of throws off some of the home therapy, I feel like. But there's like specific times, like when she gets home from school on the days that she doesn't have like the outpatient therapy. Like she gets home at like 3, and then like she gets a medication at 4. So I always try to make sure like we either do like therapy before the medication or like right after before her like 6 o'clock feed. And sometimes it's just like putting her in the stander. Like if I'm like super busy or something, like we'll put her in the stander for an hour, and like I'm glad she's like doing that, and like she'll be on her eye gaze and stuff. But then I also try to get at least like 20 minutes in of like the tummy time and sitting and stuff like that. Like I used to overthink it, I feel like too much, where I'd be like, oh, we got to go in her therapy room. Like we have to spend like X amount of time in there and do this and that. And then it was just kind of like we weren't doing it as much because I'm like, well, I don't have time, but now I'm just
Right.
like, right before bed, it's like Madison's going to sleep and I'm just like hanging out with Mia for like 10 minutes, like waiting on something, and I'll just like have her working on something. Like I try to like just do those little things now more. And I mean it all adds up. So I feel like that's kind of like what we've been doing more is like the standard time. Like we try to get her to stand for at least like 30 minutes to an hour or more a day. And then beyond that, it's just like the little pockets, like where we can fit it in. Except for when we do have more free time, like possibly on a weekend occasionally, and I might take her like into her therapy room and do like actual swing stuff or like getting her doing like some of the harder stuff that takes a little bit more time. I feel like we try to do that at least like once a week. Kind of like a more like in-home PT session per se, I guess. Other than that, it's just standard and just trying to fit in the little pockets of like tummy time here, sitting here, working over the balls and the what's your favorite thing, Kelly? I'm blanking on the name right now. Bolster.
Bolster.
Working on the bolster.
I mean, there's peanut balls too, so
Yeah. So that's kind of what we've been doing. I've even like broke it down now because I'm like a type A person, like to the extreme, like hardcore organized, like crazy person. And so like I'm all about like the whiteboards. And like sometimes I really overthink my whiteboards. So like I said earlier, I've been like just back to the basics, keep it simple, stupid.
yeah.
So I literally only have like 5 things on the whiteboard now, and I put X's so I can like kind of keep track of like, okay, how good did we do this week? Um, and like even if it's just like 5 to 10 minutes on the bolster, I put a check mark because it all adds up. So
Yeah.
I can kind of say like, wow, we really did not do well this week. We need to do a little better next week. I feel like that helps. And if you just keep it simple, it's easier to like manage. Otherwise, you're just like, screw that. I'm not doing it. So that's kind of how we are.
I think I'm similar. We're similar in that way. So, because she has school, and then usually at least a couple days a week someone's here after school with her, whether it's the nurse or another sitter that we have. So we have like a little chart with like little cards, like I'm looking at it right now, and it's like tummy time, flashcards, stander, blah blah blah, and like try to get, they like turn them over when they do it. And so I use that too as like, oh, I haven't done this thing with her for a while, and let me try that. But it is really just like stolen moments a lot, especially with school, because she gets home from school, she eats, she's usually tired. So how can we like play, but do like playing that's somehow like working on something, but not necessarily like, okay, we're, structured like that. And when we do things like right now I'm kind of working on like the rolling, the like sitting up from laying down,
Hmm.
like balancing on the balance ball and the shake plate. And so I'm just like, okay, let me rotate through those and do that. And it's just I'm trying to have fun with it, like I think that's what can be discouraging for me if I get too like caught up like with the walking and helping her walk, and like if I start thinking about her hip and then I get like down, or her torticollis like that. I meant to bring that up earlier. It's so discouraging. Her torticollis is so bad, and so it's like I get discouraged with stretching and everything because it just doesn't really seem to be working. But it's like, but just still do it. It's just do it for 5 minutes, like whatever. And like hopefully one day I'll be like, oh, it's working. So when I don't have fun with it, sometimes I get so discouraged that then I stop doing it, and I like get like, I don't know. Then I don't want to do it later, and I kind of get distracted and try not to think about it. So I got to make sure it's fun. But we have good days and bad days, good weeks, bad weeks where I'm like, oh my God, we're like going to Napa in December, and I'm like, did we even do anything with it? Like, are they gonna, I hope they're gonna be like, she's come so far. Or they're gonna be like, Jesus, did you
Eh,
even practice anything, So, but
they
Yeah,
can tell.
we start intensive Monday in Louisville. So
oh,
I'm thinking
nice.
the same thing. Like But I'm like Gina though. I'm very like OCD, and I have to have things. Gunner has to have a schedule, and if he doesn't have a schedule, then it don't work, and it messes with me, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But we I try to do the standard every day. He might get one day off unless we're like going out of town or something. But Stander is a big one for us because of the knee, and he has the contracture on that knee. And so I definitely try to do that, but we do stretching. I have like I'm like Gina, I have a board, and that's how I do my day. If it's not on the board, it doesn't happen.
I've tried
We have
that.
something going
Can't do
on,
it.
and if it is not on that board, then it is not happening. My kids will be like, "Do you remember this?" I'm like, "Is it on the board?" No. Then no, I don't remember. It's got to be on the board.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
horrible
I've
with
had to
it.
like
Like
honestly
it
like
stresses me
yeah,
out.
I've had to like make myself like less crazy when it comes to stuff like that because like I like will literally drive myself bat. I must
And he
just
eats
swore.
by mouth
Um,
most of the day. It takes up a lot of your time, and it's stressful. And I have
yeah, I'm
other
like a
kids
crazy
that play
person.
sports, and
I like wake up
yeah,
in the morning and I'm like, hey, here's my to-do list. And I like write it all down. And then I'm like, well, I didn't do that, didn't do that. And I'm like, oh, move it to the next day. Like, I'm
Eh,
like, why am I like this? Why am I like this? What is wrong with me? Aaron, can you diagnose me?
I'm all the time yelling at Alexa. Alexa, set a timer for such and such time. Alexa, do this.
Oh, you want to know what drives me the most crazy? So we have the CVI timer for Mia, and we set it every time she goes in her stander because that's how we keep track. Like we set it for an hour
I
because
do
our
the
goal
same
is an
thing with
hour.
Gunner.
Yeah. But Madison's new thing is she goes and turns it so it goes off, and I'm like, I don't know what it
how
was at.
far
Like,
was
and
it?
then it throws me off because I'm like, oh my
Oh yeah,
gosh, like I lost track of time. Like I don't know. Like, what do I do now? What do I do? What do I do? Just take her
yep.
out? Okay, we'll take her out.
You just
I'm
write
the
the
same
time
way.
down that you start at.
But we have a visual timer for a reason. Like
No,
that's
for
why that's
you,
there.
not for them.
I know, but I still need it too. Like I need the visual. I have the visual timer for eating
Oh,
also. He
it's
has set.
sounding a lot like high functioning anxiety. That's
Yeah,
it's giving high functioning anxiety, which
Very
I
much so.
only recognize it because I have it as well.
I don't do any of that. I don't.
I mean,
I'm like, oh
thankfully,
my God.
Tim is like such a good balance for that because I will be insane if I kept trying to like do those kinds of things because like you're talking about the whiteboard, everything is on the whiteboard and Tim will still ask me everything. And I'm like, did you walk by the board? Look at the board when you walk by it. It's on there. And it's like this guy, he's so helpful, right? He does her nabs, he does it, and I know this is being recorded. He probably won't make it this far in the podcast, but it's like he will still say, what nabs do I have to give her? You've been doing this for 4 years. Like, but whatever. So I have to like, I would go insane because I used to be like that. Like, I'd be like, did you give her this? Did you do this right? Did you do that? Blah, blah, blah. And it was like, he's like, get the fuck, like he's like ready to divorce me. So I was like, something's got to give here.
Oh my gosh, I really hope he makes it this far. Hi, Tim. Hey,
Yeah.
buddy.
Sorry. He knows
They
I say
said
it
it.
to him.
All right then. What advice would you all give to a parent just starting out therapy with their kiddo with Edwards syndrome?
Start with the
Anytime
basics.
now.
I mean, I
Like
think
Gina
it's,
said.
oh, God, Gina.
No,
Oh,
like
What?
Gina, I was saying, like Gina said, I did the same thing with
Oh,
Emma as I went back to the basics. So
mhm.
start on the basics and focus on those skills until they got it, and then go to the next. You know,
yeah, I agree. And I think just like keeping it, I mean, like, don't overthink it. Just
yeah,
like play with your child and incorporate therapy into like your everyday life too. Like when you're doing diaper changes, have them pull up, just like the little things too, especially while they're little. But also like another piece of advice I would give too is like, I know the first like year, I mean, unless you're us and like the middle like 3 years are horrible. But like routinely like the first year of life with trisomy 18 kids is like really brutal. But like try to focus on therapy when your kid is doing well because they are going to get bigger and it's going to get so much harder. Like I wish that like I could go back to those like baby days now and just like go nuts with the therapy because like she was so small, like I could do so much. Like it just like you just have all the what ifs. And so like my biggest advice would just be like take advantage of the time while they're really little and easy to handle. Because Mia's not even really that big yet, but she feels massive to me. And I know she's just going to keep getting bigger. So it's just going to keep getting harder and harder. So like definitely take advantage of like the smaller sizes as much as you possibly can, because at some point it's like, you're gonna struggle to like lift them into the standard. I mean, look at Gunner. Like Crystal's still a beast with it, but everybody's not Crystal, and they can't just like, here comes little
All
5'1"
circus.
Crystal, and she's like manhandling Gunner. It's hard. So that would be another set of advice that I would give is just, you know,
Start
I
working
know it's
out
hard.
early for yourself.
Yeah. And like just do as much as you can. And even just the little things, just like fit it in as much as you possibly can. And don't overthink it. You don't need to do like an hour of therapy at home to say you did therapy. Like just fit it in small amounts when you can. If your child fatigues, just do 2 minutes of therapy here, 2 minutes of therapy there. Like it all like it's just like us as adults was typically developing people. Like you just naturally do all of it, but our children don't get the same opportunities to just be able to like get up out of a chair and walk, like when typically developing kids are learning how to do all of that and they can do all of it on their own. Like they need assistance with every step, so like each time you're doing the little steps is adding up to huge things. So even if it's just like doing one transition 10 times a day, that's better than doing none because you can't do 10 transitions in a row, if that makes sense. Um, that's my advice. And get yourself a whiteboard or
And
10.
Alexa.
And you got to
Alexa.
get like 25 different colored
I
markers.
want to see these whiteboards.
That's funny.
I'll send you. Have you seen Mia's Med whiteboards,
I've
girl?
seen that one. That one makes sense, but like, I don't know.
I'll show you her therapy one. It's really basic now, but
Yeah.
like I've had very not basic ones in the past. And I wish that when she was a baby, I focused more on the actual work than the damn whiteboard.
Well, the thing
I
that I
just
made with
focused on
her,
like four things.
like exercises, like every one of them has a picture of her doing the thing. Like I went Canva crazy on this thing, like, but it's
Oh my
so
God.
cute, like when
I've
I
never
don't,
done that.
I guess
Okay.
that would probably be a good idea because you have nurses and stuff doing it with her too. So
well,
then
yeah, that's why
they
we did it.
know,
Yeah, like
yeah,
like we have even like friends that come over and take care of her, like when she's not in school for the day, and so they have that to like
know
as
how to do
like a
it.
guide. And then when I get home, because if they leave before I get home, the transition conversation from Tim to me isn't so um
Complete.
complete. So I can just come in the room and look at this board, and whichever card is flipped over, I know that they did. Like there's even one that says I pooped. So there's a picture of her
That's a
with a
good thing
little
to
poop.
know though.
Yeah, exactly. Like I need, those are things.
We
So
need to know that.
That's a good idea.
But I would
yeah.
need like 20 different cards for Mia. Like
I
I
like that idea
pooped,
actually.
I exploded, I needed my whole outfit changed, I needed a bath.
I pooped
My
again.
car seat needs to be thrown away. That's been our life lately.
Yeah, we've had that issue with quinoa. Real food blends quinoa. Not good.
Yeah, ours is just an underdeveloped pancreas. We're screwed. Oh gosh, terrible.
Crystal, what is your advice for new parents?
Oh, so it's my turn.
Yeah, go ahead.
Use the extra large wipes.
No poop.
Yes, definitely extra large wipes.
Pro tip from Crystal, extra large wipes. You can get
No,
them at Walmart or on Amazon.
I just use
exactly.
regular wipes.
They don't work that good when it comes to explosions.
Not explosions like
Yeah,
that,
but
normal.
Emma doesn't have explosions.
Not really.
Emma is the golden child pooper. We all need to tell our kids they need to be like Emma.
Gunner
All right,
just
Crystal,
started.
what's your
Actually have
advice? Come on, throw it at us.
my advice would be starting sooner than later, and obviously not focusing on the big milestones. Focus on the small things.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Inch
means the
toes.
most.
And another
That
piece of advice I have too, sorry to cut you off. Don't focus so much on like, I want my child to like do this or that, like walking. Like obviously everybody wants their kid to walk, or everybody wants their kid to crawl or eat early or whatever. Because I feel like when you just focus on that, you're gonna get so defeated. Because it's hard.
it's a
Like,
process.
yeah, and like
Yeah.
it might not happen. So you also might have to like pivot and be okay with like doing it in a gait trainer, or like, I don't know, sometimes you just have to like change your mentality and then get them to like that next step. And then it's like maybe at some point you can progress to that goal that you once had. But sometimes you just have to be okay with like changing kind of what the original plan in your mind was.
Well,
Because none of it's
that's
easy, and you don't want to like make yourself defeated in the process, because that never helps the situation. So that's
well
another piece of
also,
advice.
yeah, but also like if you set these high standards, like you were saying, like, yeah, we want all of our kids to walk, we want all of our kids to crawl, we want them to talk, we want them to do all these amazing things. But just look at how far they have came. They're doing all these amazing things.
Mm-hmm.
They have came from the NICU and gave the chance of 0.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They're not going to make eye contact with you. They're not going to love you. They're not going to smile. They're not going to do any of these things. But yet, look at all of our kids.
Yeah.
You cannot look at any of our kids and not put a smile on your face.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because the look that Gunner gives me when he looks at me is just like it doesn't matter what kind of mood I'm in. I'm going to automatically, like, it's going to light up my world, because
Yeah.
he looks into my soul. Like, he
Mhm.
He
literally
does.
looks
He really
into my
does
soul.
look into her soul.
Aw.
Like, he makes the best eye contact than any of my kids.
Yeah.
And you have to give yourself credit and give them all the credit because of how far they have fought and how far they have came.
Mm-hmm.
These kids are amazing. They show so much love. Not a care in the world. They, like, you have to give them 110% credit for everything that they have brought to your life,
I
because
agree.
it's just amazing. And you cannot go off, oh, we had a setback with the knee surgery. So yeah, he was standing without a seat in between him and the gait trainer. He just had a walker. Now he has the seat in between him, but he literally runs everywhere.
Mm.
He got his name, Gunner the Runner, because he is like nonstop. When he's in that gait trainer, he's gone.
Yeah.
And it just, I would rather him be happy and comfortable and in his gait trainer than him sitting in a wheelchair and not making any progress, not running or smiling or any of those things, because he would not be happy just sitting in a wheelchair. Like,
I
this is
agree.
where he's at this point in this time, and we're going to celebrate it and we're going to enjoy it, because that's how Gunner is. He's happy, I'm happy. It's all that matters.
Amen to that. And I think too, it's important to note like therapy also doesn't have to mean like you're working towards a goal of like these bigger things. Sometimes therapy is literally just like keeping the scoliosis from progressing, or like
Yeah.
keeping your child's like joints like with the hands and stuff, like working, like having them use them so they don't get contractures and stuff like that. Like the therapy is helping all of those things, which is going to help your child not have, certain, like, obviously it's inevitable. Like, I'm not saying that like doing therapy is going to stop some things from happening, because that's absolutely not the case. But like it can help in some instances, or it could keep it
Like
from
long term.
progressing, or yeah, like this or that. And so it's also just like the health, like the bone health, like all of it. It's so important. So like just because like you're putting your kid in the gait trainer or the stander, or working on their shoulder strength or this or that, doesn't mean like they may not crawl, they might not walk, but you're strengthening their bones, and they might not get fractures because of it, or whatever it
The
might
motor
be.
planning. Helps with the
Yeah.
Yeah.
motor planning. The GI, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And like the sense of like independence and autonomy.
Yes.
Like I think that like, I notice a lot with Brookie, like more lately that she doesn't want me to like she'll cuddle with me still, but sometimes she's like, get off, like she wants her space and like and then I
Yeah.
put her down and put her in like a seat or her stander by herself and she's like playing and loving it. And so it's like it's that is more important to me than if like she ends up standing on her own. I think like you were saying, like these kids have already our kids have already gone above and beyond like any expectation that I could have ever had of her. And so it's all just like gravy here. Like it's all just bonus. It's all like
Right.
this is just all gifts, because like you said, she's happy, she knows love, she feels love, and so everything else above that is just like, wow, this
Amazing.
is so cool, and
Hmm.
like I always think about it when like our kids like the little inch stones and how much
Mhm.
like how excited they make me, and I think that's like such a gift that we get as parents of kids with special needs is like typical developing kids when they do these little things they're not as exciting to parents as they are to us in a way because they're just expected. And so we get to experience this like immense joy over these little things that I think we're very lucky to experience, and it's a
It
unique
changes your
one.
heart.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah. So
that's for sure.
So we're getting close to, I think we've touched all the topics, but I also wanted to ask, like, what is one therapy milestone you would like to celebrate today?
well, today, man, Brookie was rolling like a queen, and she was like getting up from laying. I mean, I was giving her like the tiniest bit of like guidance, just like a
Sometimes it's
little,
just a touch.
Stimulation.
yeah, just like a little like, hey, move this way, and she's just like going from laying to sitting, and so that was really cool, and yeah, it just made me think. Anytime she grabs a toy and plays with it, I don't think I'll ever get like that won't ever be so cool to me. Like to think back of the days where it was like you put something in front of her and it would just fall to the ground.
Hmm.
It's like, just like trying to get her to play it, like just fall. And now every single time she like actually engages with the toy, I like don't take that for granted. I just think it's so cool. So
Exactly. Yeah.
I would say mine is like Mia's sitting. We've struggled with sitting for pretty much her whole life, but like she was doing really well for a while, and then like went through regression and everything. But like she's finally like starting to like get it a little bit more. Um, and she's sitting for like upwards of like a minute or two easily on her own. When she wants to. She still throws herself back a lot, but it's like clear that it's intentional. So we're working through that. But I would say that's our biggest thing right now is like the sitting. But really just I don't know. It's so hard because like with Mia, it's like it's such minimal progress, but it's progress. Whereas like she had like 2 years of like total regressions. Like she only went backwards. So like I feel like really everything she's doing a lot better in. But like there's been nothing besides like the sitting that's been like, oh my gosh, like before I'd be like, oh my gosh, I have to share this video because it's so cool. Like I haven't had any of those moments. Um, because people wouldn't get it. They'd be like, well, what am I looking at? You know what I mean? But like obviously you guys that like talk to us and know everything she's been through and like where we were and all the skills we lost, like you get it. But I feel like it's harder for people that don't know everything that goes into everything that has happened. So it's hard to say it out loud, I guess.
Mhm.
I
I
don't know.
wouldn't consider her.
Complicated.
I wouldn't consider her as losing skills. To me, she's just lost strength because she's been through so much. So you're seeing skills she already had because the strength is coming back.
Yeah. I agree with that, except for with the standing. That's just ugh. Keep those knees healthy, guys, because you don't want
I
those
think
popping out.
I think a lot of it is with the knee issue is that after they've had the surgery and stuff, it's a lot of them trusting themselves
Mhm.
Yeah.
and trusting their knees.
And it's like so much scar tissue too. So it's like she already
Yeah.
doesn't straighten it enough. So then she's not getting the like
You gotta do
the
the
glute
scar
engagement and
massage.
all that. Yeah. And then like Mia's is all the way up because they had to like in order to keep the knee in, they had to cut one of her muscles like in her thigh. And so like her therapists are actually telling me now that they feel like her issue is more there than even her knee. Um
That's what
so
it
like
The
sounds
we're
like. Yeah.
quads.
the quads, yeah. I'm in anatomy and physiology, so I should have probably used proper terminology.
But the quads is what controls the knee. That's why they think
Yeah.
at first the left knee was having an issue because that's where she had her hip surgery and her quads were tight, pulling it out.
Mhm. What's your milestone, Ellie?
She's had a lot in the last year. I think the biggest one that I like is her like seeing her know the movements, do the movements. Like on her own, she's motor planning is clicking.
Yeah.
And that was the big thing with her is the motor planning.
I think motor planning's a lot with all of our kids.
Yeah.
It's not always recognized.
Well, the last few therapists have recognized that. They were like, she has the strength. It's the motor planning.
Mhm.
With Gunner, I would say it would be him standing today would be my biggest. It really caught me off guard,
He looks good.
and he's doing a lot better pushing through his arms and quad. So he's been a little stinker here lately. So if you all have one of your therapists that may or may not be listening, that's a therapist of one of your kids, what would you want to say to them?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Just thanks.
Thanks
Thanks.
for figuring her out.
Thanks for not
Thank you.
giving up
Yeah.
and
And
believing.
pushing.
Yeah. And like
Our
also
kids.
even just like motivating us too. Cause like I feel like I've had moments too where I'm like just defeated. And like the good
Yeah.
therapists are ones that like build you back up too as like a parent. So like thank you for being an advocate for my child alongside of me and being like another voice of reason along the way.
Yeah. Thanks for looking past the Edward syndrome diagnosis and
Hmm.
looking at my kid as a person and pushing them as a whole and knowing what they're capable of doing, regardless of their diagnosis.
And for the
Means a lot.
therapists that aren't a good fit, thanks for nothing.
Thanks for hitting the road.
But
Boy, I was starting to crack up because we're all saying like thanks for this, and I just wanted to go, thank you for being a friend. Like from Golden Girls.
oh Lord. Well, thanks for tuning in to a Breaking Barriers podcast. We are so glad you joined us. Keep celebrating the little wins, keep advocating, and remember, together we are breaking barriers. See you next time.